Okay, let's do it. So let's start with our materials. First, I'm going to turn off my Pyro, and I'll concentrate only on the rose and the scene. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to create a camera, and I want to have a backdrop, and I want that backdrop to be perpendicular to my camera. So holding Shift while camera is selected, I'm picking a plane, and plane becomes the child of the camera, and you see it's in the same coordinates as camera. So I'm switching my coordinate system to local, and I'm moving that plane behind my rose, and with the rotate and holding Shift for 90 degrees angle, I set it up right here. So maybe a little further, and let's make this plane bigger. I'm going to turn off this grid, I don't need it, so I'm going to remove work plane, and let's set up our ratio. I'm just going to make it square, so 1024 by 1024. And in here, like, if you do not see this, okay, sorry, something, yeah, so here, unlock this lock ratio if it was locked, and do 1024. Okay, so now it's square. And in our render view, if you do not see this second part, it might have been just collapsed like this. I'm going to change my scale to 50. If you do not see it, it's probably because you are not on fixed scaling. Okay, so let's move on. Let's set up lighting in our scene, and I'm going to bring this dome light. As you can see, it lights our object from every direction, and I'm going to use an HDRI map. So for this project, I was using this HDRI Studio Small 05 from Polyheaven. I am going to find it in my browser, and it's already looking nice. Right now my materials, well, there's no materials, but they're still a little bright. They're default non-existent materials. They're pretty light gray. So I'm going to switch to a clay mode, because by default this clay mode color provides this neutral gray. And I see that my HDRI is actually not neutral, it's a warm color. So I'm going to adjust it with my saturation, and I'm going to rotate it a little bit. So let's find an angle which we like. I want it to be lit from this side. Yeah, something like this. And let's create a material for our backdrop. So material, double click to change it to backdrop, changing the name, applying it to backdrop, and in here I'm going to set up roughness to 1, so it doesn't have hard highlights, and I'm going to change my color to pretty dark. Nothing is changing because we're still in this clay material mode. I'm happy with this color, and now let's create a rose material. So I'm just with control dragging and dropping the same material. I'm renaming it to rose, and we'll be applying into my rose. I'm just going to bring everything in the same group, call it rose, and apply that to my group. If your objects inside already had some materials, they will override group materials. So you want to delete them first and then apply it to the group. So this is looking pretty nice. I want extra light on top. In order to manipulate my scene but still see what I want to see in my viewport, like this render view, I'm going to change my render to RS camera, this camera, and I'm going to exit the camera mode. So see, I'm flying around, but my viewport stays the same. And I'm going to add extra area light. I'm going to bring it on top of my rows. Again, holding shift, I can control the angle better. So it's already looking pretty nice. It's a little too harsh, so I'm going to change it to maybe 10 and maybe 1. Maybe like 8. Yeah, I think it's looking pretty nice. Going to adjust my camera angle just a little bit. And I think we are ready to start working on our rose material. For our rose material, I'm going to use a burnt coal material as my base. I'm using Quixel Megascans, and if you start typing coal, you find this trample coal material. So I have it downloaded in here, and I'm going to click on my rose material and bring. So I don't need all of them. I'm just going to bring roughness, normal, and albedo with control, and I'm dropping it into my material window. Let's start with normal, because it will affect the look of our rose the most. If I click on this S icon, even without me connecting it to output, it will apply it in my viewport. And as you can see, everything has UVs, but they're a different size. To make it the same size, I'm going to use triplanar. So I'm typing triplanar, dropping it in here, connecting it to my image X output, and checking how it looks again. So again, before, after, now it's all more unified. I'm also going to change it to world, and I'm going to change my blend curve to the maximum. Looks pretty good. Let's connect it to our normal maps. So I'm getting bump map, connecting it to my input, and overall to the bump map. So now if I'll look at that, you see something, but it's not really right. When you have this purple looking materials, you need to change it to row. Like, by the way, right now you see how multiple things got selected. I don't know what's happening. It's very annoying. Feels like shift is selected. Maybe you do not have this issue. I do. So when it happens, I'm just do shift control A, and it deselects everything. Annoying. Anyway, you go to normal and you change in color space from auto to raw, and the preview changes into light purple. And in our bump map, we're changing it to tangent space. So now it's a normal map. As you can see, our normal map is much more interesting now. It sees more details than just hide field, just reading it as black and white. Maybe I'll play with the scale of it a little bit and with the height. So I want my bump to be stronger. So I'm going to select only this area with Shift or this icon. I'm going to change it to 100%. I'm going to see how it looks with 1.5, maybe even 2. Going a little crazy. Yeah, I think it's looking better. So yeah, I'm happy with that. Let's bring the rest of the maps. So roughness. See, again, it's Shift, but never mind. Shift Control A to remove that glitch. Roughness. I'm selecting triplanar, and with Control, duplicating it, connecting it to my roughness, and connecting roughness to roughness. And this is updating. It's good. Roughness as normal should be in our raw color space. Our albedo though is our sRGB, so we can keep it on auto, which is by right now it is sRGB. So if we're not changing it, it will still stay the same. So auto and sRGB is the same. So now I'm going to connect my albedo to triplanar and diffuse to my color. And color didn't change because my color input right now is very small. So you see, that's the color. I would probably change my saturation on that. So I'm going to add color correction. And connect it to my albedo and then triplanar and remove saturation. And that is the base for our coal material. Okay, let's change this to 50 again. And now let's create this nice glowing ember burning effect. So if you take a look at the references in here, like this one or this one, we have those edges burning. So see, some edges, but only some. And then we also have inner part of our shape burning, but also not everywhere, just in some places. So let's try to recreate it with a curvature map. Again, opening my material, and in here I'm going to create a curvature map. So start typing curvature and applying it to our material by just clicking S. And in here, let's start playing with numbers. So I'm going to change this to convex. This is all good. Convex, I want just outside area, so that works. Then here I'm going to use a super tiny radius. It might be different in your case. It really depends on the scale of your object. I'm going to add some samples to it, 32. I'm going to adjust my bias and gain a little bit. So something like this. And I want my edges really glow, so I'm going to do max output of 2. This is good, but now I need to add noise. So those outlines, they're not everywhere, they're just in some places. And for that, we're going to use layers. So I'm going to bring this color layer, and I'm going to bring my curvature as my base color. It's black because by default layer 1 is black. If I remove it, we see our base color. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create noise. I'm going to create Maxon noise. I'm going to go with wavy turbulence. And let's adjust some values in here. Again, applying this material. Right now, the scale is not right. So I'm going to change my source to world, and overall scale is 200. And let's adjust our brightness a little bit to this, and contrast. And let's use this noise as a mask for our color 1. And let's see how it looks. So as you see, this black layer is controlled by our noise. So right now, it just in very little places we see our edges. If you want a little bit more of that, you want to reduce the brightness. So yeah, this is how you can control it. So I'm happy with my edges, and now I want to add those inner glowing parts. Let me get back to the reference again. So we added those little edges, and now I want to add inner glowing parts. And for that, we're going to use another curvature. So we're in curvature. And in this case, we're going to use concave. And let's adjust size to samples 32. My contrast just a little bit less. And my maximum of 3. And so this is my inner parts of the rose. And they will go as my color for layer 2. I need to activate it, and right now it's overwritten everything else. I'm going to edit with add, so now it works with everything else, but again, it's everywhere and I want it to be only in some places, so I'm going to add noise again. So I'm going to duplicate this same noise, use it as my mask this time, and adjust some settings. And so it looks a little different. I'm going to use a different seed. So just move one number and it will look different. Just so you can see what's happening when I change seed. It just randomizes my noise. Okay, so this is my burning, glowing mask. And I want to transform it into actual color. So for that, I'm going to bring ramp, connect my layer material with my ramp, and in here I'm going to load preset of flame. And let's see how it looks. Awesome. Let's connect it to my emission. So I'm going to right click on this circle and add show in node editor. And now I'm going to connect it to emission. Nothing is happening because my emission weight is 0. So I'm going to change it to 1. And immediately you see something is happening. And I'm going to change it to 2. It's even brighter. You see the bump disappeared. That's just a glitch. Need to restart the browser. And see, my bump is back. So yeah, that is how you create this rose material. Looking at it right now, I actually want a little bit more of those edges. Right now I think I removed too many of them. So I'm going to go back to my noise in here and play with the brightness of it. So if you remember, if I remove brightness, then it will actually leave more of those edges. Cool. And I think I want to change the scale of my material. I want it to be a little bit more, I want my scale a little bit to be a little smaller. So again, Shift Control A to deselect everything, select all the triplanars so I can adjust them all together, and let's play with numbers. This is actually opposite. Okay, so that is pretty cool. I think there's too much diffuse happening in here, so I'm going to reduce my diffusion a little bit. But yeah, that is our rose material. Now let's create floating embers, and for that I'm going to bring a capsule and make it tiny, and put it inside of the cloner. So maybe 8, 8, 8 and 15, 15, 15. Capsules have to be smaller and a little longer. And space between capsules just a little more. And I'm going to bring a random effector to randomize my capsules. So it's in mograph random while my cloner is selected, and in here we're going to change rotation 360, 360, 360, so they're in every direction possible. Scale, uniform scale, something like this. Yeah, I'm happy with this. Let's make capsules even smaller, and let's add displacer to them, so they're not looking so perfect. They look like little random embers, and for that we're going to bring displacer and include it in our capsule, and let's make it 0.5 for now, and let's bring shading and noise, and let's actually exaggerate it so we can see what's happening. I'm going to turn off my render viewer for a second. So everything changed look. I'm going to go to my noise and change my space from texture to either object or world, and I'm going to adjust my noise to wavy turbulence and adjust the scale of it. Where is the scale? And obviously it is too strong, so yeah, something like this. And maybe capsules even smaller. So this will be our future embers, and for them to look like embers, we need a special material. Let's set it up. So I'm going to select only this little area, and I'm going to create material, call it Ember, apply it to my capsule, and in here I'm going to select ramp, and I'm going to change it to, let's try circular, and I'm going to invert my gradient, and I'm going to use this as opacity. So I'm going to go to my material and bring opacity node, connect it, see how it looks. So only parts of our embers are visible, so it's less capsule-like now. And to adjust this look, we can adjust our ramp. So the more black you have, the less ember is visible. I'm going to go to my material. I'm going to completely remove diffuse and specular weight reflection, and I'm going to add another ramp, and that will be fire color for my emission. So I'm connecting this ramp to my new ramp. Oh, this is scalar ramp. I need regular ramp, sorry. Scalar ramp is great when you, for example, need to control roughness and you need to see the numbers. It does the same thing, but here I need to control color, so I need this kind of ramp. And in here again, load presets, flame. Let's bring emission into our node editor, and let's boost up emission to, like, let's say 2. And as you can see, our ember start glowing. So I'll make capsules even smaller and even longer, so they're a little bit even more regular, and change the intensity of displacer. So I'm just playing with numbers in here. Maybe there are too many of those sparks right now, so let's go back to cloner and change it to 666. And that is looking pretty good to me. So spacing between them. And what's going to be awesome when we are going to add depth of field, all of those glowing embers will turn into a nice looking bokeh. And let's prove the point. I'm going to my camera, and I need to set up my focus for my depth of field. So first, if you go to optical, you can find bokeh in here. I'm turning it on. It doesn't seem like anything changes because the number of aperture, you need to lower it significantly in order to see it. And as you can see, everything turned blurry, and just because our focus is not in the right spot right now. There are different ways how you can set up focus for your camera. You can either click on this button and just click the focus where you want it, or I found it that the better way is to create a null, call it focus, and place your focus in your scene with this tool and put it in the camera. So now you can be anywhere in the scene, you can rotate your camera and it always will be focused where you need it, and obviously you can animate it. So let's boost up our aperture even more, and as you can see we have nice little bokehs. If you want them to be even more prominent, you can boost up emission on your Ember material even more, and as you can see they're turning into those very prominent little circles. And again, you can go even crazier with your bokeh numbers, so something like 0.2, which is pretty cool. If you want your camera to be more anamorphic, so you want your bokeh to be elongated like in the movies, you can adjust your aspect ratio here to 0.66. Well, that's pretty much it. You can animate this particle system with mograph tools. I also recommend playing with the noise speed on those masks. So in here we have speed of animation. So if you change it, then your glowing embers will be traveling on your rose, you see. And finally, let's bring our flame. And let's set up our flame material. Clicking on Pyro. We don't have any density in our materials, only temperature. And you can play with the intensity of your fire. And this temperature were pretty cool too. So I am going to keep it a little bit less intense, so my embers are more visible. But yeah, that is how you set up burning rose scene. I hope this tutorial was helpful.